Hello, and welcome back to the Macro Gamer channel. My name is Mark Assingham, and today we're getting into week number 23 of our weekly numbers. The date today is Saturday, December 28th, 2024, almost at the very end of 2024. So by the time I make this video next week, it'll be 2025. So let's get into our last weekly numbers for the year of 2024. And it's been a hell of a fucking past couple weeks. So here we are. Portfolio net worth as of December 28th, 2024, $317.43. And you can see our allocations on our pie chart here. We have our weekly data. This is from December 23rd to December 28th. We have no new net cash flow. So we're zero, no cash coming in, no dividend. We have a market weighted return of being down 1.2%, so down 1.2% for a market loss of 0.07 cents. So you can see this large drop right here. This was coming into Christmas from Monday, Tuesday, and then kind of came back up and came back down again. So we've had some volatile times. We also had a dividend payout on one of our ETFs, so people pulled out of the ETF, which dropped down to price, which we'll cover. Pardon me, I'm getting over a cold, so if I sound off or if I sniff extra a lot or whatever, that's why. If I'm clearing my throat a lot. So we have our monthly data from November 29th to November 28th. We have a net cash flow of $30 on December 18th, right here. This large spike up on the chart. We have our money weighted rate of return of negative 2.02%, so we're down 2.02% for the month from this time frame. We have a market loss of $7.39, so lost $7.39. We have a dividend earned of 12 cents, so good for the dividend, made it back 12 cents. Man, my nose is like killing me right now. We have our quarterly data from September 30th to December 28th. We have a net cash flow of $121.27. So you see you have four large spikes here. Looks like a staircase. So this is every time we put in $30 every 3 weeks. So that's $120 worth of cash flow. We have a money weighted rate of return of 0.52%. So this is like the weakest quarter we've had so far. But again, just these past couple weeks have been really volatile. A lot of selling off in the market. We have a market gain of $1.80, and we have dividend earned over that time period of 41 cents. That's our quarterly, weekly data. Again, apologies for the sniffing and everything. We have our weekly numbers, our percentages. We have our target weighting. So gold's still at 30% for a GLD ETF. Dollars at 20% with our UUP ETF. Bonds at 15% with our GOVT ETF. Commodities at 15% with our USCI ETF. Stocks at 15% with our RSP ETF. And Bitcoin at 5% with our IBIT ETF. So for the week, gold down 0.29% for a market loss of 28 cents. UUP, and this is what I'm talking about right here, down 4.05% for a market loss of $2.65. So this is all from a dividend payout. So basically people piled into the ETF before the EX date. Basically you have to own the ETF before the EX date. And then after the date passes, you can sell the ETF and still claim the dividend. So that's what people did. So they loaded up on this ETF and then they jumped out. It's just for the dividend. So that's why there's that drop on there, despite the dollar actually being up. You have our bonds ETF down 0.35% for a market loss of 17 cents. We have our commodities ETF down 90.93% for a market loss of 45 cents. We have our equal weight stocks ETF up 0.02% for a market gain of 1 penny. Astounding, 1 penny. This is all the money I made this week. 1 penny. We have our Bitcoin ETF down 2.07% for market loss of 31 cents. Now, don't feel bad if you lost money this week, because like everybody lost money like last week and this week. It's just major volatility and sells off. So not many people made money. And if you were one of the few that made money, congratulations. You are a rarity for sure. Our monthly percentages. This is a more telling sign. So gold down 0.93% for market loss of 85 cents. Dollar down 2.37% for market loss of $1.44. Bonds down 1.87% for market loss of 86 cents. Commodities down 0.2% for market loss of 9 cents. Stocks down 5.51% for market loss of $2.56. So the equal weight ETF really sold off. And Bitcoin down 2.46% for market loss of 37 cents. I am struggling right now. And then we have our quarterly percentages. Gold down 1.93% for market loss of $1.48. US dollar up 1.28% from a market gain of 56 cents. Government bonds down 4.61% for a market gain of $2.27. Commodities up 2.82% for a market gain of $1.04. Equal weight stocks down 3.25% for a market loss of $1.16. And Bitcoin still up 45.56% for a market gain of $4.62 over this time frame. And no portfolio transactions this week. Man. Sucks when you're gonna make these videos and you feel like shit. So here's our Illuvium staking dashboard for week 23. As of filming today, the Illuvium price is about $40, so $40.71 on here. You can see on here we're now up to 5.92 IOV. It's because we added more. And we have a current market value of $240.91. We have 3 now claimed IOV revenue distributions totaling 0.024 IOV for a market value of 97 cents. And this week we have not received any IOV revenue distribution, but last week we did, which was our 3rd time this year since July. So got 3 payments before the end of the year. I'm happy with that. That's what I was hoping for. So now we have an additional staking here. So we have 6 total. We have 1 from July 27th, 1 from August 24th, 1 from September 25th, 1 from October 25th, 1 from November 25th, and then 1 from December 23rd because I didn't want to do it on the 25th, which is Christmas. But this last one unlocks in 360 days because this is the most recent one. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So once a month, every month, buy $40 worth of ILV token, and then we stake it for revenue distribution. So we're trying to increase our revenue distribution, and all of these will unlock. Here are the time frames when they will unlock. And then we have our current revenue distribution as of this week, which is 0 because we have not received any for this week. We received some last week, but not this week. And speaking of, here's our transaction. So this is our revenue distribution claim here on the 23rd. And this was our purchase of ILV $40 worth at the time. And those two together, we sent it here to the wallet to be staked. 0.951 ILV. That's what we have staked. So that's our Illuvium transactions. So those are our weekly numbers. Now let's get to the charts. So gold, coming out of this range. It's done it before, back here. It's coming out of this range. I don't know if I'm ready to commit to reducing it, but if I did, I might take it down 5%, maybe at most 10%, because I still think gold's gonna still be beneficial. It's had a hell of a run. But as of right now, it has broken out of this range, so I'm just watching it. This past week I didn't do a whole lot just because it was Christmas week, so you know, wasn't really focusing too much on my investments. I was just with family. But this is what we're watching for our gold. Our dollar ETF says I'm talking about here, this sharp drop right here. This was a dividend payout. Let's see if we could maybe get it to pop up. We could use the grok. UUP ETF EX dividend. See if it'll come up. Okay. Okay, right here. So the next EX dividend date for the US dollar bullish fund has not been announced. The last known dividend was on December 18th, 2023, with a dividend payout of $1.75 per share on December 22nd, 2023. However, there have been posts on X indicating EP went EX dividend on December 23rd, 2024, with a return of capital of $1.3. So this was December 23rd, this large drop right here. So basically people piled into the ETF prior to the EX dividend date. The whole strategy being if you buy it before that date, it's timestamped that you own the ETF, and then after that date you could sell, which these people did here, and you can still collect a dividend payment. So these are kind of like dividend chasers, right? Which is fine. For some people, that's their strategy. For us, we hold these long term. Now, of course, I took a hit on this though. Like I took this hit, right? And it's kind of happened before. We see here the last time I did it, took a big hit, right? So it's probably like once a year maybe that they do this. But it might be better for me if I look out for this in the future to try to avoid, you know, taking a big drop, unnecessary drop, I think, in the price. But yeah, there's a rally. That is why, you know, we had, was it 4%? 2%. There you go. So in 1 week it went down 4%. In 1 week it went down 4%. So that was that EX dividend payout. Now, of course, I don't want to just make unnecessary transaction because those are taxable events as well. So I got to look at it like, is this going to be in the short term a big issue, but in the long term not a big issue, or is it going to be in the long term a big issue? You know, so I got to plan that out in the future. Equal weight stock ETF. See this big dropout. So I talked about this last week. Starting to come up a little bit. I should reduce my position out of here, but as I look back on it, you know, I can almost draw another line, kind of going from here to here. And I'm not saying this is the line or anything like that's going to change, but I'm looking at, you know, what this potential new trend, if it might be or whatever, because this is a strong falling out right here. I don't know if it's going to continue or if it's going to kind of bounce off this trend and kind of keep going with that. But it might reduce next week. I'm kind of waiting for the end of the year to happen just because it's volatile time, excuse me. And like the last week was volatile, this recent week was volatile. Oh, sorry, the week before last week was volatile, and then last week was volatile too. So we've had all these issues, but at the very least right now it's broken out of the trend. I still think we are still in an uptrend. It's still a, you know, a higher low relative to these other ones. This is probably like the most recent big low right here. If it goes below this one, you know, then it's really going to drop down. Then we have to come to this one. But between these 2 points here, you know, I'll be watching where if it drops down. But as of right now, we're still at 15%. Commodities ETF, you know, still been doing good for 2.5 years. And man, it's killing me today. So I still think commodities and gold, even though gold is breaking out of its trend a little bit here, I still think commodities and gold are the trends to be in. So if I pull out of the dollar or gold, I might just put it into commodities just because I still see inflation look like it's rising. And it doesn't matter which of the administrations won the election, both of them want to spend a lot of money. So to me, that's screaming rising inflation. So why not own commodities when commodities are going up because inflation's going up? Bonds. I still suck on bonds. Still hate bonds. It's come down, it's broke down. No, now below the bearish trend. I probably should. I really should almost just give up on these bonds and just reduce them back down to 10%. But of course, when I do that, it'll kind of hit this bottoming effect here, and then it'll probably rise up. But who knows what happens with interest rates? But I might put that also possibly into commodities. We'll see. But yeah, bonds have been coming down. Interest rates are still rising. Bitcoin coming off of its high of around 100,000, coming down. So kind of peaked there. As of right now, this trend is coming down. I don't know, what it's going to do, if it's going to continue down on this trend. But at the very least, we can see that, once that hype kind of wore off, coming up to the 100K, it's pulled back. So remember, we had the hype back here after we got ETFs approved, and then it fell down basically for 6, 7 months, consolidated in a downward trend. And then pretty much building up to the election and post-election, it's gone up to 100K and then it's pulled back again. So, it's hopeful optimism for sure in Bitcoin. And we'll kind of see where it goes from there. So that's the weekly numbers for the end of the year. Again, apologies, getting over a cold. Next time I see you will be next year. It'll be 2025 and it'll be week 24 because we're just continuing with the portfolio. It's not going to stop, right? That's the point of it. So hopefully it's a benefit to you all. You could learn and watch, see what someone else is doing with an actively managed portfolio versus a lot of people online just talking about what they would do or should do or could do, but like you're actually seeing the numbers, you're actually seeing the performance here. So I hope you enjoy that. Hope you appreciate that. Hope you had a good Christmas. Enjoy your holidays. Hope you're going into the new year strong. Just everybody should be investing. It's not the greatest thing in the world to spend a lot of time you're doing because you got weeks or months like this where it's bad, but then you got to think back to the weeks and months prior that we were doing really good and we were making money. So there's always going to be these difficult times everyone's going through right now, so don't let it discourage you. But I hope that's helpful. As always, thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you next year.